We are living in such a lucky, period, this 2022. How are you gonna teach language without grammar? Doesn't really even sounds like a native at all, right? And as they really discourage yourself, wow, it's grammar is difficult, make sentences difficult, I don't even pronounce, I don't even speak. What? No shit! If you start from grammar, what is the most difficult things is to actually make the sentences. That's a huge, huge mistake in the language industry, which is professional speaker, which is you can speak as close as possible to the native. This is a really important things I'm gonna say. This part, like how can I learn Japanese? By what? Hey, what's up? My name is Terumi. I'm native Japanese. I've been teaching Japanese for 7 years, almost 24/7, all over the world and every single day. So I know what it is the learning language through my experience too, because I became a 4 language speaker, which is I'm native Japanese, and I can speak English, and I can speak basic Greek, and then I'm just start learning last year German. What is actually the fastest way to learn Japanese? Then recently, this past 2 years, I'm telling to the old people, you should not learn grammar if you really want to speak Japanese confidently. And it's quite, I'm getting like some hate comment like, oh, Terumi is liar. You cannot learn language without grammar. Terumi has a shit method. Terumi is liar, whatever, I totally understand. I totally get it, because learning language without grammar is how. Like, so many people usually ask me, like even my friends is she's teaching French, and it's just a French teacher, and I always ask me like, Terumi, like I saw your YouTube, and how are you gonna teach language without grammar? And I totally get it, because it's not really common, right? Language school never teach grammar, then what we gonna do, right? So today I really want to discuss with you guys, and you can write down the comment, is it like possible to learn language without grammar? Okay, so my first question is, first of all, right, first of all, how can I learn Japanese? Let's talk about this part. Like, how can I learn Japanese? By what? My answer, my honest answer, by what is by everything. You can learn Japanese by everything. Just watching Japanese anime, also you can learn, right? A lot of things, a lot of actually maybe baka, nani, or like ike or something. You can learn so many things through anime, right? And also even like you just visit Japan and then like sit down on chair and then hearing somebody's conversation. Wow, like Japanese people speaks like that way. I don't understand what they're talking, but they say definitely like ありがとうございます、お疲れ様です、いらっしゃいませ. Oh, like what is that? You can learn even by just sitting on the chair somewhere in Japan, and you can learn. Or, you can just watch Japanese movie, and then a little bit you hear some conversations, pronunciation you can hear. And of course, like really common study, you can just open the textbook, you can learn grammar, you can learn vocabulary, you can learn hiragana, katakana, some alphabet, basic alphabet, vocabulary. You can learn by everything. Of course, common application, Duolingo, Pinsler, Rosetta Stone, and like bunch of things like for free, like even for free, right? Like you just have YouTube and you can learn so many things. This is a 2022. You can learn by everything. We are not living like 1950 that we didn't have internet and then you really need to buy the textbook. Even you cannot visit Japan, it's so far away. That time the air ticket was like a $5,000 going back. The 1950, that time I heard my grandfather, the air ticket was crazy expensive that time. Now it's like just even you can find like $500 and you can go and back, right? I mean, it's Corona, it's not easy to actually go right now in Japan, but compared to 1950, we have a bunch of stuff and it's everything almost for free, Even the international call is free. Now it's just you download the Facebook or WhatsApp and you can just call to Japanese people for free, right? We are living in such a lucky, period, this 2022. So if somebody asks me, how can I learn Japanese? It's by everything. It's for free, That's why I cannot answer, if somebody say, can I learn Japanese through grammar? Yes, I'm sure you can learn. Can I learn without grammar? Yes, sure, you can learn like just about watching some anime, TV, whatever, like just find some friends on social media. You can learn some things, right? So I always say, this is a really important things I'm gonna say. I always say, how can I learn is not the problem. You can learn everything for free even, 2022. But if you say, I want to be a Japanese speaker like native, I really want to speak Japanese like native, then now this is a huge actually difference. I just want to learn is, as I said, you can learn for free by everything. But then if you say, I want to be a Japanese speaker, it's a huge difference. It's like I just want to watch soccer. I just want to watch basketball on TV. Or I want to be a basketball player, or I want to be a soccer player. It's totally different things. Do you really understand? It's totally different things. You are just an audience to learn something. You can learn even the basketball rules, soccer rules is on the TV, books, magazine, whatever. You can just learn, right? This sports. But then if you say, I want to be a player, I really want to play like a Cristiano Ronaldo or like I don't know the really one of the most famous basketball player right now, but I want to be a professional player, or I just want to learn what is this sports, is totally different things. That's a huge mistake in the language industry right now, 2022, is they are totally confusing, super confusing. I just want to teach you is the teacher. What is Japanese? This is hiragana, katakana, what is vocabulary, this is grammar, whatever. They're just teaching, but it's now you said, I want to be a player, then you have to play. Which means you need a speaking training. Listen to the native actually pronunciation to you pronounce like native is totally different things. I can learn a lot of language. I can hear a lot of native speakers through TV, on YouTube, whatever. But if you say, can you pronounce Japanese like native? Can you pronounce English like a native English speaker? Can you pronounce Greek like a native Greek speaker? Can you pronounce Italian like a native speaker? It's totally different compared to just watching the TV, just watching the textbook. Do you really understand this difference? When the people say, I want to be a Japanese speaker, you definitely need a specific training to be professional player, which is professional speaker, which is you can speak as close as possible to the native. What's happened right now in the language industry is because they never really coach you what is the speaking training. What's happened right now, most of people who's learning language is when I try to speak, my mouth doesn't move. Konnichiwa, watashi wa, That's happened. When I learned English, I really couldn't pronounce. Recently, what I was practicing the word in English was this one. Literally something. You know, it's super difficult, this English. I have met even American people cannot pronounce this literally. And then I said, wow, this is difficult pronunciation even for the native. I don't know, not maybe everyone for sure. But also, even we have this, you know, in Japanese, what is difficult pronunciation is, for example, like what we have. So what do we have? For example, like a chucho shimasu, chucho shimasu, or like something like specific words. For even the native, it's difficult to pronounce. But because we say so many times, we can speak faster and we can speak correctly, and it sounds natural, right? So what is a core problem when you try to speak? Of course, if you start from grammar, what is the most difficult things is to actually make the sentences. It's not only about Japanese language, right? It's all the language. When you learn French, German, Italian, Spanish, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, you start from alphabet and a word and the grammar, and now you need to make the sentence to speak, but it's make the sentence through grammar is very difficult. So that's why, you know, like your confidence goes really down, and then like, I don't know, this is if I'm saying correctly. And then when you pronounce, because you never almost pronounce it, like your mouth really doesn't move, and it's in the end you're gonna speak really wrong sentence. Pronunciation doesn't really even sound like a native at all, right? And as they really discourage yourself, wow, its grammar is difficult, make sentences difficult, I don't even pronounce, I don't even speak. What is actually the way to speak like a native? That is, I think it's a really, really common result. And then, you know, our school, Japan Language Factory, is asking you every time, if you say, I really want to speak Japanese like a native as soon as possible, and let's just looking at the children, why they actually can speak the language quickly, learn quickly, pronounce it really like a native, right? You know, it's all the language. Spanish children, French children, German children, Japanese children, when they are just 3 years old, which is they really don't know what is the world, but they actually can speak the language quite fluently, 3, 4, 5 years old. When they go to the elementary school, they are already super fluent in the language. Can you see? They learn so quickly. And that's learning process. You know, in the childhood, there's no grammar training in their learning process. That's actually, I really realized, maybe learning grammar is really maybe not helping to start speaking as soon as possible. Because children learning process, they have no grammar training, zero. Even if you ask to your children or your maybe niece or nephew, do you know what is grammar in your native language? Do you know? Then they're gonna definitely answer no. No shit. This is actually the fact. And this is a reality. They are the fastest learner and they don't know what is grammar. And adults are the the super slow learner. They don't know actually how to speak like a native, but they are actually learning grammar all day long. This is a really smart way to start speaking like a native. So I am native Japanese. I'm not native English speaker. English speaking is much harder than speaking Japanese in front of the camera. But because I understand this actually speaking training, rather than just looking at the textbook quietly and learning grammar, this is not helping to be a YouTuber today. That's I actually really understand. Then we have here speaking training. So do you really understand how can I learn or how can I be a Japanese speaker is totally different. When you say, I just want to learn, I don't need to speak, is you can totally find anything for free. Duolingo, any language application is everything free. How can I learn is not the problem. The problem is how can I become a Japanese speaker. Today is the problem. And now you need a really strategy to start speaking as soon as possible because you need a right training every day because you're going to be a professional athlete or a professional singer like professional Japanese speaker, which means you need a right training. That's it. If you do the training, I'm sure you'll be able to speak so quickly.